Hi everybody, welcome to Kate's Space. Welcome to my channel here in New Zealand. I'm Kate of Pixie Designs, and if you're here for following Junk Journal July, then you'll know exactly why I have a pile of brown paper on my desk. If not, and you've stumbled here simply by accident, I am taking part as one of the collaborators in Junk Journal July, and I chose brown paper for my prompt. So that's today's prompt, and I am going to kind of just have a chat and we'll make a few things, hopefully, just all about brown paper and how we can use it in our journal making, our junk journals, our collaging, and all these things. So it was hard to know where to start, and of course this is not going to be an exhaustive list of things that you can do with brown paper, and I'm sure they'll be list some things down below, things that I've missed or things that you've done, or let's just kind of really sort of brainstorm exactly what we can do with brown paper, because it's so accessible to everybody. I don't know about elsewhere, but in New Zealand, there's no plastic bags, so if you forget to take your reusable bags, you can still purchase brown paper bags. So David's always forgetting, and he's always coming home with these heavy brown paper bags. Those are great for even just making a journal with, because it's really heavy brown paper. I don't happen to have one in this pile, but let's just have a look at the different kinds of brown paper. Now, I'm not going with sort of like, this is sort of brown paper, but it's old, that's why it didn't start out brown. But yeah, so there's so many different shades. My favorite by far is anything that's old. This is a really old envelope from, I have no idea, but probably the 40s. And I love old brown paper. I love the way it crinkles and wrinkles, and this is quite, it's probably a little bit fragile now, but still I love it, and I will probably turn some of it at least inside out and use it for backing something or collage. The other thing is this sort of thinner brown paper. These are brown paper, gusseted brown paper bags. These are amazing. They look amazing. They can also be used as a base for making little journals. This one is just something I've thought about making, and you can cut both sides off, decorate the front. So there's those little kind of light brown paper bags. My other favorite is, this is all that I've got left, but this was a very old grocery bag back in the day when you used to get your groceries packed into brown paper bags. So this is probably from the, I don't know, 70s or 80s, and I've only got this much left. It had something that Mum gave to me, and I love this old paper, brown paper. But as you can see, we've already got several shades of brown. This is something from the florist that came, and this is really heavy paper, and it's really good for backing tags. This is packaging paper that often comes, and it's got a perforated edge, and that is amazing for, again, backing tags and creating texture. This here is painter's masking paper. I've got a roll of this, and again, that would make perfect paper bags because it's kind of like got that lovely lightweight. So that's a really good thing, and I got a roll of that for next to nothing at like a home store. This is wrapping paper, I guess you'd call it. It's brown, just basic brown paper. Again, it's on a roll. I think David found this huge roll of brown paper somewhere and said, do you want it? I said, yep, sure. So it's kind of like a wrapping paper. It's quite heavy, but again, it's a different shade. So look at all the shades that we've got here just in brown paper. Here's another paper bag, but this one again is a different shade to that one. Again, I've got some braille paper, which is also brown. You can get brown paper packaging tape, which you can stamp on, or this is a one you wet and stick down. And the other day I found some craft tape at just the craft store for a few dollars, and again I've stamped on there, but that's a really sticky brown tape. So again, that's not all the brown paper that you can get, but it's some of it. So in my Junk Journal July last year, I just had a look through, and I can see here I've used some brown paper just as some layering to add texture and layers to a collage. The other thing you can do, obviously you guys would know this, is simply just use this in your journal as a page. So that's good. And here in this, my current journal, I've used this big old brown envelope. Now this again is very old and grungy, sort of my kind of thing, and I really love it, and I've used it in the center. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but yeah, I love the look. It looks so dirty. It'll probably get covered up or wiped or cleaned, but anyway, I wanted to include that in this journal. Alright, so what else can we do with the brown paper? So many things. I have got a whole lot here, and there's not time to make all these things, but I thought we would just go through them. I think that texture paste looks amazing on brown paper. These are little brown envelopes. Now you can make these, just take one apart and make a template, which is what I've done here. I've just taken one of these apart and I've put it on some heavier paper, and you can just make a little envelope. So basically we can just draw around, and you can do this with any envelope. If I see an envelope I particularly like the size of, or I don't know, something about it appeals to me, I will often take it apart, steam it open if it's old and I don't want to tear it, and draw around it and make it into a template so that I've got it if I ever want it. So whether I ever use it again, I don't know, but this is lighter paper. Well, it feels lighter, but maybe it's not. It's maybe the same. If you've got an envelope maker, you can, an envelope punch board, you can cut your brown paper to size and use your envelope punch board. I've been cutting out sticky things. How is everybody? I hope you're well and enjoying Junk Journal July. This is my third Junk Journal July. I did Junk Journal January this year too, which I loved. The year before that I started it, but I never completed it. But it's such a great way to get ideas, to see how other people do journaling, and be inspired, and just help kickstart a journaling practice. I always love doing it because I love looking back at my old journals. So there we go. I mean, I would rub all those pencil marks out, but then just fold it over. Now, what have I done wrong here? This way. Decide which you want to be the top. Where is my actual envelope? Here. So this one has the short bit coming over the top. I mean, it certainly doesn't matter. Glue that down, glue that up, and then you've got your little coin envelope. That's a bit wonky, that's a bit not very good cutting, but there you go. So they're easy to make, and brown paper envelopes, I really like them. The other one I have done, and again with the texture paste, we love how the texture paste looks on the envelopes. The other one I made, and this one did turn out a little bit wonky, was taken off a little brown window envelope, and I've used some sort of glassine in here, and so that's made with the painter's masking paper. But I love how that turned out, even if it is a little bit uneven. The other thing I love to do and looks amazing on the brown paper, and that's embossing. If you have a Sizzix die cutting machine or something Cricut or something like that, then you can buy these little embossing folders and emboss your brown paper. So this is just like a craft paper, a little bit heavier, like almost like a light cardstock. This is some of the Amazon packaging paper, and so are these. So that's one of the 3D dies, embossing folders, and that's a floral one, and that can look beautiful in your projects or on a page or a collage, adding amazing texture and color. The other thing that looks really great is using these die cuts, or a die cut. These are Tim Holtz, and you've probably seen them, and these look great if you have a journal and you want to decorate the page. You can glue it on as a little decorative spot like that. Some of these little bits need to come out. You can have it so it flips up, and you can have something underneath. So you could have an image under here that kind of shone through underneath. That can look really lovely, and then you can lift it up and see whatever you've got underneath. The other thing that you can do if you want to make that a pocket and you want to make it a little bit stronger is use something like some tracing paper or glassine or something. Here's some tracing paper, and I have done this before, and you can glue your tracing paper to your die cut. Let's do it. Now I'm just going to tear this about here. Oop. Tear some off. And I just wanna glue it, because you're not going to see it. Right, I'm just going to use some art glitter glue here and just glue this on, because I'll probably use this in something. And I don't want to straighten up my edges. I like them all a bit wonky like that. That's how I want it. I'm just going to poke those little bits out that are still in there that haven't come out. I will apologize, actually I should apologize at the beginning for the shadows. We are having particularly nasty weather at the moment, and it hasn't stopped raining for quite a few days. And if you know that anything about the fact that we've had the cyclone here earlier in the year, so everyone's a little bit nervous, but the rivers aren't going to breach their banks. They're really high, but they're not so high as to be a problem or a worry. Now, I don't know if I really want to tear that straight. I think I want to carry on with the sort of unevenness, but I want to save this one because I'll use this one for something else. probably. Right. Now I haven't stuck this middle bit down. Maybe I should have done that, but anyway, you can, if you want to, you can go around with your art glitter glue and stick all this. But I really just wanted to show you how in a journal this can become a tuck spot. Say on here. So you could glue this on and then have something tucked in behind it, and the tracing paper still provides that transparency, but it protects this die cut. So yeah, those are great and look amazing in journals with the brown paper. The other thing I love to do with brown paper is layer it. Oh, that I wanted to show you this one. So these are some old, this is another brown paper. These are some old wraps that I think they went round newspapers. I got a whole stack of, well, not a whole stack, quite a big stack of them. And see, they glue down around some papers. And I thought, oh, that would look cute if I turn that into some kind of folder or something. And decorate the front. And then you open it up and you've got this lovely die cut. And you could put something pretty at the back here and have that stuck down so it just opens and that's it, like that. Or you could have it so it opens out. You could put something over here, glue something there to shine through that. So yeah, I love those die cuts and they're very versatile and fun to use. The other thing I love to do is use brown paper for layering and backing things. I have this lovely lady in my boho journal, and I've used the brown paper around her, and it adds lots of interest and texture. I think I like it. It's kind of a messy look and it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I really like it. And so I've done it here with this little image. So I thought we could make one. So I'm just going to tear out one of these lovely images. These are from chapter 1 papers. Now you can put brown paper on the back of a journaling card and glue it down, and it's really nice to write on as well. So if you wanted this to be a journaling card, this is quite rough because I thought, oh, maybe I would stick this down, and I don't mind the wrinkliness of the back of it, but you could make it a lot smoother by using the wrapping paper. This is that very old grocery bag. So these are designed to look old. You can tell by the way they're printed, and they've done some aging on them. So I want to back that onto something like some old book page, but that's not quite big enough. I might go with this. This is a really old piece of paper, so I'm going to glue that onto there. I'm just going to run my ink around the edge to continue that dark edge that is on the print. I've printed this onto some Epsom inkjet quality paper, photo quality, I guess. I think that's what they call it. Let me just get something to glue on. So I'm going to just use my glue stick to glue this on to the book page first. This also makes cards, journaling cards, bigger if you do the layering, because each layer pokes out past the other one. If you want something not to be too big, then this isn't really the way to go. And I'll just tear this off. leave a little edge there. That's quite a big edge. That's okay, I'll just lift it up a little bit. And then get some brown paper. Doesn't really matter which one, we'll use this darker one. So this is the paper that comes in packaged up things, like, I don't know, we don't really have, well, we do have Amazon, but obviously not New Zealand Amazon. I think this actually goes up this way. I've done it upside down. Okay, never mind, I'm not going to start again. Right, okay, so I'm going to glue that. Now these edges on this one are quite straight, they aren't torn like that one so much, so I'll just keep it like that for now. And maybe just tear this bottom one a bit rougher. And kind of fold that one up. But yeah, I like kind of wrapping these bits around each other, just to create a bit of texture and interest to the card. But you know, you can still turn it over and write on the back, because it's not actually lumpy and it's still quite thin and light to pop into pockets and things. So yeah, I love it for layering like that. The other thing it looks really great in is in your journal if you've got a typewriter. So I typed these couple of quotes out. One didn't, you know, my typing's not very good, but as you can see, it looks really great. Okay, I'm just gonna rip that along there, and I might use that like in a collage. The other thing is these pockets. Now Rhonda from Little Bit French has been making pockets with photos and they look really great. So you can have this little bit of brown paper coming up the back if you want to, or you could tear that off and just have it just with a tiny bit showing. Sort of a bit more like that, but there's a little pocket that you can put things into. I've only got big things, but you can put little bits and pieces into your pocket. So little tags. The other thing is these craft tags. These are great and you can stamp on them, collage on them, do whatever you like, or leave them plain. These are pre-made, but you can make these as well. You can cut something out of craft cardstock and make your own brown craft tags. Another sort of layering look that I really like is if you make like these pockets, and I've just put the brown paper behind here and folded it under just to give it a little bit more of texture. And again, you can tuck little things into this pocket, and the brown paper just gives it a little bit extra. So I will probably glue these closed and then maybe stamp something or decorate this a little bit more, and that's a lovely floating pocket for in your journal. That's very old book page on the back. The other thing I really like to do is stamp and cut things out. Now I guess this is a form of collage fodder. I'm not very good at painting, and you can go on Instagram and there's a lot of artists out there who make the collage fodder with paints and then cut it out. I'm not very good at that. So as you can see, these look great stamped and then cut out and then put on to a layout or a journal page or some collage as a focal point. So I really like doing that, and I think it looks, I usually do it on book page, but I think it looks really great on the brown paper as well. So stamping on brown paper looks amazing. Now everybody's been doing these, and I mean, we've all made paper bags before, but you know, if you don't have any brown paper bags or you want to make one, you can just make it by folding your paper up. I've used pinking shears at the top, and then I've decorated it, and this one's inspired by Heather from Ruby and Pearl with a little nameplate on it. So you could make one and decorate it, but of course if you've got paper bags, you can just decorate up a paper bag. And they look amazing. So yeah, so those are just some of the things that you can do with brown paper. I'm sure that you guys have got lots of other ideas about what you could do. Now I just thought I would do a collage in my journal and use some brown paper. And I've got some bits here that I want to use. So I've got a piece of brown paper that's been embossed because I really like the look of that. I've just got some scripty paper here, and I've got some old book page that I really like. I can't remember how I had this. Some old lined paper, which is also a little bit brown, and it's got the pencil writing on it. And then just some plain brown paper that has been torn, and that will add just a little bit of something to the collage. I just can't remember how I was going to do it. Let's just arrange our pieces how we might like them. Just wanted to twist those legs of that around and put that there. That doesn't quite cover, so maybe there like that. I like the torn edges. Pop this little bit of embossed paper under here, or should we have it over the top? Underneath, maybe. And then the brown paper. Maybe we'll lose that. That's not going to be enough. Okay, we can do this. I want some brown paper, and I definitely want this pencil writing on here. I kind of didn't want my brown papers right next to each other, but and then we've got our stamped Bizzo, and I thought I might include that as well. And that's quite a nice base for a collage. It's very neutral, so probably would want to come in with something a bit less neutral. And let's glue this down. So yeah, go through all your stash, start saving your paper bags, but make sure you use them. That's the important thing with saving things like that, is remembering to use them. Otherwise you'll end up with so many paper bags. But I guess if you do a search on YouTube, paper bag journal cover, then you will find more paper bag journal situations than tutorials, and you can shake a stick at. And of course you will see that Meg, who is running this challenge, if you want to call it a challenge, she uses brown paper a lot in her collages and incorporates it really beautifully. I really love the way that she uses it. I don't like the straight edge. I think that's bothering me, so I'm just going to try and see if I can make that more pleasing to my eye, but I think I might have stuffed it up. I'm going to put that there anyway, because I will be probably put things over the top. And my glue stick is about to run out, so let's hope that it lasts. Got a bit of a tear in there now, but that doesn't matter to me. Oop, get it away from the fold there. Then we've got this and this. Yep, I think that'll be right. So some more glue stick, hopefully. I'm hoping that when I go to edit this video that the heater is not too loud. I forgot to turn it off. There's no point turning it off now because we're nearly at the end. So I do apologise if that has been bothersome for anybody. Okay, so we've got these bits joining here in the centre. I'm not 100% happy with that. I just thought, what did I do with my little quote here? So I might use that, or we could put our flower there, or I think I'd like something really colourful now, so I'm just going to sort that out. So I've cut out this giant flower and I'm going to just have it so it comes over the edge, and then I'm going to trim it, and then I'm going to put this quote that I've typed onto brown paper, and that's going to be the end. Again, you could do paint and mark making on this, but that is not something that I'm very good at, or it's not a strength, and I find it difficult, so I'm not going to. So I'm going to glue this on first. With the collaging that I don't normally know until the next day or a few days later whether I actually like what I've done or not. Sometimes it grows on me and I do like it, and sometimes I'm like, no, that could have done with a bit more thought or a bit more work on it. For me, collage is still a bit of a win some, lose some situation. And sometimes the ones that I make or that I create and I really love, or I really don't like, when I have finished, I come back the next day, or even just like some of the ones I'm looking at that I've done a year or so ago, and I go, actually I really like that. So you just don't know. I mean, there's some where I'm like, oh dear, that is not good, but it was fun. So it doesn't bother me. I don't throw many things that I make in the bin, though I do throw some things in the bin. Normally they're the mixed media things that I've had to go at and they've just been a bit of a disaster. Okay, I'm just getting glue everywhere here now. Okay, so I'm just going to glue that there. Whoops. Yeah, I'm not sure about the positioning of that. Never mind, it's on. And I might just squish it up a little bit so it's got a bit of wrinkled texture to it. There we go. So the brown paper adds beautiful texture. And then I can just go around my edges on the other side and trim off those bits that are sticking out. So there is that collage. Again, you know, those of you, if maybe you're watching and you've been collaging and doing junk journaling for a long time, you'll go, well, that was so basic, everyone knows what to do with brown paper. Yep, that's true, but sometimes there's some new people who don't, and sometimes it's good just to be reminded. There might be something that someone saw today and they knew about it, but they've just forgotten. I often forget things and watch videos and go, oh yeah, I've got some of that, or I've got some of those, I could do that too. So hopefully it's been a little bit useful. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you're enjoying Junk Journal July, and you will follow and look at all the other artists who are working to do videos over the month. Thanks so much, and I'll see you again soon in the next video. Bye.